Alright guys, today I bring you a fun little project. Oh, my brother's calling me.
Alright, today my brother is going to be carving a lighthouse with a knife.
Wow, that's great.
Using a bottle cap that he sharpened with a rock. And it should be pretty impressive, so you might want to check it out. And afterwards, stick around and subscribe to his school if you want to know more about how to carve and do more detail work and stuff like that. So, thanks.
Anyway, yes, we are in fact carving a lighthouse, and like Kenny said, if you want to see a fancier version like this one, check the link below. But this is a super fun project. If you're kind of starting out in carving and you've got yourself a sharp knife and a piece of 2x2 basswood that you cut in half diagonally, then you have what you need to start this one. Not a lot holding you back. So without further ado, let's do it. Alright, to start this one off, we're using a 2x2. This is a basswood section here. It's 5 inches, and it's cut in half diagonally. On top of that, we've got a pencil, ruler, and a knife. And the knife that we're using is just a 1.5 inch blade. It's made by Helvey, but per usual, you don't need to have this blade. It's not even necessarily the ideal blade out there, as far as I'm concerned. Really, whatever you can find that stays sharp. Flexcut makes a great knife that's pretty cheap. Other than that, a little backup of super glue in case something breaks, and a little accelerator, and an eraser for the pencil. And that's that. And so, to start, you can see I've already got some little notches in here, and that's just from a previous project. This was a Santa block. You can kind of see some of the drawing left behind on there, but we're not going to let that distract us because we've got new plans for this guy. So, today we're going to be starting out with a 2.5 inch cut from the top here. So let's just sight down this piece and say from the top down 2.5 inches, about like that. Oh, I can already feel that I've missed my first step. That is to remove the rough edges, or the sharp edges. This just makes it easier to palm, a lot less annoying to hold, right? Something like that. Okay, anyway, back to our cutting. So again, 2.5 inches from the top. I'm gonna make a little notch, like so. All right, like that. Okay, don't let this notch distract you. This is from the old Santa or snowman. I'll just carve that down so it's not distracting us. Okay, so really all we've got so far is just one notch on the face of it here. Alright, and I'm actually going to take the material from this notch up to the very top and just kind of carve it down flat. Just like so. Keep making those cuts. Very good. All right. So we're going to make this lighthouse a little bit less than 1 inch wide. So I want to take this cut, bring it all the way around the piece. A little stop cut here. Just like that. All right. This is a really nice, simple little project that you can do just sitting on your porch in the summertime or sitting by the fire in the winter indoors under a box. You can set a tarp or something below you, catch the chips. I'm working in my little shop here, so I don't need to worry about that as much, but I just sweep up when I'm done. Alright, so I'm just coming along and making that straight edge all the way across. Just like that. Okay. Make sure that stop cut's nice and deep, otherwise the chip will just kind of do what it wants. Just trimming the sides here along that seam. I'm going to come up and just thin this top section here. All right. I'm just going to keep narrowing this down. If you notice that your knife isn't going through the material, it means you're probably taking too big of a chunk out, so just take a smaller little bit out. And just work backwards and think about how much you're taking away. Alright, so I'm trying to make this about an inch wide here, this back part, so we'll layer it up a little bit more. Okay, like so. So, you know, I'm almost as much pulling the wood away as I am using the knife to kind of hawk off material. It's a very powerful cut for removing a lot of stock. All right. Very good. This is what it looks like from the top. The side. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to continue to narrow this just a little bit more. That looks about right. Alright, so we're about an inch, maybe a little bit greater than an inch here. Okay, looking good. We've got sort of a square here. And then I'm going to show you how to get this thing to a round shape. First of all, I'm going to come around the base and make a stop cut around the base, like so. Then I'm going to remove the corners, and by that I mean these guys, right? You say, well, the corners are already removed. Well, I'm going to take a little bit more out of them, and then I'm just going to keep taking those planes out. Keep taking those edges, I mean, not planes. Keep taking those edges out, like so. Okay. So I'm going to make these a little bit more plain, like a little bit flat, like that. All right, I'm going to take this side and do the same here. All right, and I'm just cutting edges, cutting corners. Right? Love to cut corners in wood carving. Okay, I'm just trying to keep those planes even. All right. You can see from the top what's happening here. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got an octagon. Okay. Very cool. And we're already starting to see that kind of shape that we're looking for, right? Just in that octagon. All right, now I'm going to take the top of this guy, about a 1/2 inch from the top down, and start to angle, taper that top, like so. And you can start with kind of flat angles, you know, like we're doing with the octagon here, like so. Just taking little nips, slowly turning it, almost like you're sharpening a pencil. And right, that's the idea. You can see, starting to get that kind of a lighthouse look to it already. All right. Now I'm just going to come down about, say, 1 inch from the top here down to the this 1 inch mark here, and I'm going to take the knife, go straight in, and then I'm going to come up high, the top of that line, and cut down to that stop cut that we made. I'm going to work my way around the whole thing like that. So stop cut, relief cut, stop cut, stop cut, relief cut, stop cut to free the chip, and you just work my whole way around this this little guy, this lighthouse. Okay, a little bit over here. Over here. Not going to worry too much about the back, although you could if you wanted to. Might as well. Let's play with it. Okay. Look at that. You can line up with that octagon if you want, you know, keep those planes going. So we got this face plane, so we'll come down, make that stop cut there. At this other side of the octagon. Looks like we subconsciously kind of did that. But angles are nice. Angles like this are your friend because it's easy to see when one of these is not like the other. It's hard when this is all rounded out to see exactly where the problems are. So this makes a big difference. All right, now I'm just going to actually take and narrow the top of the light. But first, I'm actually going to come and actually just shrink these planes down. So effectively, I am starting the narrowing process. So I'm just going to come at each plane, each little side of my octagon, and just cut it down. Narrow it up just a little bit. Like so. Just getting that narrow. A little bit narrower than the base of the lighthouse. This is the light part of the lighthouse. Okay. Alright. See how it's just a little bit narrower at the top now? We can keep taking it down just a little bit more. Narrow it up a little bit more. Like so. And I'm just checking from the top just to see how my shapes are. If they're looking alright. Okay. Just maintaining that little ledge there. Right. Okay. Very good. All right. Now it's at this point, I'm actually going to create the entrance of the lighthouse. And just going to do a little peaked roof right in the center here. And if it helps, you can start by drawing a little line down the center of your lighthouse. Just keep things balanced, right? And just approximately down the center. Might not be perfect, but you can extend that line down. Just going to help you keep everything square. Let's see, am I about the center there? Pretty close. Alright, so I'm going to start with a little angle here. Like so. And then go to the other side of that center line. Another little angle. Same angle as the last one, but just the other side. Alright, like so. See that? And I'm going to come down. Same thing here. And just got a little entrance here. And I'm going to keep this base here, this little ledge. I'm going to keep that ledge. And I'm actually going to create that kind of ledge all the way around. But I got to take these little wings off first, right? It looks a little too, I don't know, angular or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to pare this little area out here out, because I want to make kind of a rocky path down below. I want this thing to be on kind of a rocky cliff, if you will. So I'm just going to start by removing material from the corners here, this lower corner. So, just kind of taking a turn out of it. And if we have a problem with the blade not going through, it means we probably need to take smaller bites. You can see the little knot in there. That's probably part of the issue. Little knot. Alright. There it is. Alright, so I want to create a lot of square happening here, a lot of, or at least flat angles and symmetry, and I want to give it a little bit more of a life to it, some character to it. So I'm going to take the knife and carve an angle coming down, like so. Okay, see that? Okay, and then I'm going to continue this angle up, like so. So I'm removing a lot of material here because I want that ledge, just indicating there's some kind of angle that comes up and climbs the side of this building. And just gonna be like a little stairway. Goes around the lighthouse, right? Can see that angle coming through. Kind of neat. All right. I'm going to start to form the kind of base of this little house here. Little entrance. Maybe even carve the door. Like so. Just going straight in. And then bridging those two lines. And kind of a fun little trick to make it look like the door is open. Because of course, you know, the old man who runs this thing, he might have forgotten the door open, is just to take your knife, come at an angle like so. Watch this. Insert it very gently. And then, watch that. I'll come in here, do it once again. And it almost looks like that door is either about to swing out yeah. I was going to say where it swings in, but that's not very common, right, for a door. So we'll take a little bit out of this side so that you can see the edge of the door. But yeah, it kind of gives it that look of an entrance. And the door is just peeking open, right? Alright, now I'm going to go to the top of this lighthouse and create a little bit of an indication of where the lens is. We got to make that lens, so I'm going to create a stop cut going all the way around the top, right, where those angles start, like so. Just working my way around at each of those angles of that octagon, like so, all the way around each of those little panels. Just like that. Alright, and you can kind of see now that light start to take place, that lens, right, that this is where these windows are, that make the lighthouse a lighthouse. Okay? Alright, I'm going to make another little ledge down below here to indicate the bottom of the windows, and just kind of make a little ledge. Just going all the way around. And you know, I don't actually mind if the light part of the lighthouse has got these panels to it, or the angles, almost like it indicates the panels of the windows. That's okay. Okay. All right. Making some good progress here. All right, now down low, I want to create a rocky path. I'm just going to trim this up first, though, just a little bit, like so. Just trim this line up. Looks like it might climb a little bit on this side. Okay. All right. Okay. Just noticing little areas that might not be in proportion. So I'm just looking, again, these straight lines really help you to see if everything's in line with one another, right? Because you can see if these angles aren't matching up here, right? So I'm just looking at them up close and seeing that, see this one, this line is lower than this one. This one kind of carries up. So I'm going to square it up to this one, like so. And just going across like that. The planes are very helpful to show you where problems are. And you can even introduce these planes into faces, right? When you're carving faces, they help you to see, you know, where things are proportionally off, or even symmetrically off. So that's the idea. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it will improve your carving a lot to have some angles or planes when you're starting out in the shaping process. Okay, so our lighthouse is coming together. I'd like to create a kind of a rocky base down here, right? I want this to be sitting on kind of a neat rocky base, and so to do that, I'm going to start to create some little boulders, right? I'm just going to create some little faceted boulders, making a series of stop cuts, some round, some long, kind of oval-like. Ovular? I don't know if that's a word. Some small, some big, right? And that's the important thing, is you're varying the size, you're varying the shape, you're varying the kind of texture even a little. Some are more blocky, some are more round. That's kind of the name of the game. They're gonna be a little bit more you know, not very round. They're gonna be a little more rocky, but maybe the waves crashed on some of these guys and made them a little more round in some cases, I guess, toward the bottom. So I'm just sort of creating these textures all the way around, right? Okay, maybe a big rock over here. And this is where a V-tool would be pretty helpful to have. If you had a V-tool, you could go around and kind of separate these rocks out, going between them. I'm just going through, making each little rock. Okay, so I'm just making those little boulders, piling up on each other. I'm just going around the whole thing like that. And just deciding a rock here, rock here. You get to decide where the rocks are going to be. I feel like Bob Ross right now. It's your world. It's your little world. I think that's what he would say. Just going through and making these rocks. And sometimes they tend to get bigger as they go towards the base. You know, you can get some bigger rocks down there. Maybe we'll make this one a nice big rock all the way around here. Just like that. Nice. Like that big rock is cool. I like the way that looks. A big kind of section there. We'll just get the facets off of it, or get the facets into it. What I mean is get the chatter from the saw off of it. I can put a little dent in it, because not every rock is smooth, right? Not every rock is going to be perfectly smooth. All right, so we got that going. You start to see that rocky base is forming. Okay. This bottom rock nice and big here. This whole section will turn into a nice little rock. Not so little rock. A nice so not so little rock. Want to leave it flat in the bottom in case this is going to sit on a table. You never know if you what you're going to do with it, right? I mean, at least I don't know what I'm doing with them. Just making the stones go all the way up here. Okay, get that rocky base going. That's pretty awesome. Well, it's pretty cool what you can do with just a simple little block of wood. As you can tell, I'm still geeking out about this. And just not, I didn't grow up as a whittler. I mean, I started out that way, and then I moved to the hand tools, which gave you a lot more, control over the shapes that you wanted to make, or at least it made you made it easier to do those things. And but the knife only is just so fun to have that challenge, to have that limitation is really, really helpful. And it's just so fun. You know, I mean, you can hear me getting excited about it when I'm doing it. It's like, okay. I'm just going to add a few more rocks here. And again, if you have a little V-tool, it's really going to make your life a lot easier in this regard. You just kind of go around, and just kind of carve with your V-tool each rock, each little shape. Okay, pretty close, pretty close. All right, I'm just going to put a couple of little rocks up in here. Okay, little rocks up and down. Just kind of getting all these little rocks and details in here, the base. Alright. And just looking out for saw marks, anything I need to fix. And you could do a tiny bit more detail on the house. For instance, the door handle. A little dot for the door handle, like so. Okay, and I also want to do a little indication of maybe the trim around the door here. So I'm just going to come, just a tiny hair, about a mil or less, from the border. Let's get close. You can see from the border there, at the edge of this house, and just ever so gently rocking that knife, like so. Taking a little bit out, just to indicate the peak of the entryway here. And you could create a little pattern if you wanted to. As far as this goes, you can come in and just do a little almost like a brick or a siding of some kind. And just keep it generally pretty consistent. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like that. And then let's make a big rock here as well. Turn this into kind of a rocky situation as well. Might as well. I love the juxtaposition of the kind of flat planes of the structure, and then the kind of rocky wildness of the base. That's a really nice look. Okay, very close, very close. It's just very close to being done. All right, how about that? How about that? All right, one thing I like to do is, of course, we want to get rid of these lines that we drew, center lines. You could even, let's see, cleaning up these lines. Create a little peak here, a little indentation here. Just an extra design element. I'm just coming around with the tip of the knife. Create a little bit of a, I don't know, it's like almost like a decorative peak on this lighthouse. Gentle. I almost took that whole thing right off. Stop cut. Don't remove too much at a time, like I did. There we go. All right. Pretty cool. Come on, focus, camera. There we go. That's the idea. Anyway, there's a whole lot that you can do with this. You can create some texture. Sometimes I do like to do that, like just create a little texture. In fact, I'm going to do one last thing before I do that texture, though. I'm going to create a little ridge here, like so. Like so. All the way around. All the way around. Almost all the way around. Not worried too much about the back. Okay, and then I'm actually going to take this body down just a little bit, right? Taper to that cut, to the bottom of this little trough in here, right? So I'm just coming to that, like so. Like that. Okay. Going through. And that's a nice effect. Kind of tapers up there. I really like that. I'm glad we did that. Okay. And you can try and make these sides a little more even. Mine aren't anywhere close to perfect. Some are wider than others, but that's not super important, right? It's just a little whittle project. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can always try on the next one to do better. All right. That's that, folks. I hope you enjoyed. Here's our little lighthouse. That was so much fun. You can just set this right on a table, and it's going to look adorable. Love it. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. And check out the online school. I've got some realistic portraits in there, and a lot of different things. Actually, a really great lighthouse project in there as well. A lot more realistic, but nonetheless, a really neat project this was, and I hope you try it out.
And if you are a beginner carver or an intermediate, even an advanced carver who's looking to kind of stop making the same mistakes over and over again, especially regarding the realistic human face, check this out. This is a little example of some of the videos that I have for the online school. Check that out in the link below. In the description, there's a little link that says Online Carving School. That'll take you there. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you in the next one.